mysigt va Grim? Ja, så mysigt. Är vi redo? Vi svarar på frågor. Ja. Åh, vad du sötis. Good morning everyone and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It's officially 2025.
It is.
And we had the most relaxed New Year's Eve I think you could have. We are hibernating, so we had our pajamas on. Christoffer made a really nice meal. And then we watched TV. And thankfully, there were no fireworks out here, so Grim was completely fine. Today, we're gonna do a Q&A. Because why not? We've asked questions on our Patreon this time. And I'm gonna bring some up. And it's gonna be, we have just looked through them a little bit. Grim's here cleaning his paws in the middle of this. All right, oh, we have a lot of questions. We're gonna go through as many as we can, and we're trying not to do repeat questions. We're doing our best with finding the best ones. Okay, we're gonna start with the Grim one just because it's here. You often speak to Grim in Norwegian with a baby voice. Yes, I'm picking up some common phrases in your greetings to him. What do those mean? I always say, har du det bra? Which means, are you okay? Or it means kind of like, are you having a good time? Du är flink, Norwegian, and that means you're great. You're a great boy, you're doing great. What else do we say? But du är så fin!
Most I say busan.
He has about 50 names for Grim. I say du är så fin, which means you're so pretty. I just basically compliment him. Everything I say to him is how beautiful he is. So anything that I say is basically that. If you guys could go back in time 10 years and give your younger self a piece of advice, what would you tell them?
To move out here.
You see, I'm with stuff like this. I'm very much a person who kind of, I don't regret much looking back because everything has brought me here. That's kind of how I feel. So I don't think I would say much. I'm kind of happy how I navigated my youth. I didn't do what everybody else did. I didn't do what my friends did. Everybody went on to go to, further education. And I was like, absolutely not. That will never happen. I didn't like school. I didn't thrive. I don't think I listened much to what other people were doing. I just kind of went with the flow fearlessly. And I'm very happy I did. I'm happy that I traveled.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I'm happy that I lived in these different countries and also that I had the possibility to do so. I know it's a huge privilege. And I'm happy that I realized that that's something that's very unique and that I should do it because I can. And I did. So I just traveled around. I didn't think about the future for 5 seconds, which is also something that's a privilege.
Probably.
But everything led me here. And I'm very happy with where we are and how I got here. So I'm very happy. I think I would just say live fearlessly. Do you know what I mean? Continue. It's all gonna be good.
No. Try your best.
My best friend has a saying, and it is, everything will be what it will be. And I live by that. Like you just continue doing whatever you're doing. It's gonna be what it will be.
Det blir som det blir.
Det blir som det blir. It's like the most basic saying, but I kind of like it. It's like, yeah. My question is, do you both think you would still be living on Svalbard if you hadn't gotten together as a couple? You would have.
Yeah, I would definitely live here.
I have no idea. I think I would have been here for a few years, but I don't think I would have stayed. And this would not have come if we wouldn't have gotten together. I don't think I would have ever bought a cabin on my own. But the thing is, who knows? I don't know who I would have been if I wouldn't have met you.
I would probably buy a cabin, but it wouldn't be like this.
Yeah, he was looking for a cabin for a few years.
No.
But Christoffer, yeah, you're older than me, so I know that you were kind of like settling in here and looking forward to doing that.
Yeah.
Like that was where he was at. I was like,
yeah. I started already like the first year and looking for cabins.
Yeah. But yeah, for me, no idea. To be honest, probably wouldn't. Not because I don't love the place, but because life would have been so different. What was the highlight of your year? I think I know the exact moment. Let me just roll the clip of what I think was his highlight.
Ett stort ögonblick.
How does this moment feel?
Very good. This is a milestone in the Svalbard life, to get a cabin in the field. I've been wanting it so long. So there is the cabin. So we're gonna walk up now. Happy time! So I have like 100 kilo of food in here. So I will go home next year in December and refill.
What was your highlight?
Probably when we bought the cabin.
I just rolled a clip of you standing down there when we were walking up.
Yeah, when
for
we
the
walked
first
up
time.
to the cabin.
That smile makes me want to cry a little bit.
That was a nice. We took over like in the end of August, and I spent quite a lot there until mid of September. It was like going back and forth all the time. It was a nice place.
It's gonna give us, and it already has given us so much, if that makes sense.
Gives more freedom.
Yeah, and I think it might sound crazy to you guys that we buy a small little cabin further away from here, but you know, that becomes a whole adventure hub. It's like a focus, and being out there, it's so difficult to explain. Here, beautiful. This is work home for us though. This is home, it's work, it's real life, it's village and everything. Still great, love it, but when we go out there, it's total relaxation.
No.
It's you shut the world off and you just have nature, you have the basics, you have like, and I love that. I've always loved that about cabin trips. You too. So for us, and also it's a project, we're gonna make it nicer. We're not gonna do a lot though, because I think it should be what it is, but we're just gonna get furniture and, you know, whole thing. Yeah, so my highlight of the year, definitely the cabin, but I'm gonna say a work thing, and I'm gonna say releasing my book. The craziest thing I've worked on so far. Nobody read what I wrote before my editor did. Nobody read it after either, because I'm like, I can't do this if somebody looks at it. Do you know what I mean? So when it came out, it really was like, okay, here my massive project that I poured my heart into is coming out into the world. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to, vad heter det? Du vet, göra mig redo. You know, I have to like brace myself. That's what I meant. And it was so well received, and it's been one of the work-wise, one of the biggest projects and most like, I'm so happy with how it turned out, and I'm so happy with how people are liking it, and I'm just so happy about it. Ali, I've noticed in your videos that you have this wonderful way of remaining mindful and finding the joy in each moment. It's one of the reasons I love your channel so much. My question to you is, are there times when you've struggled with this? So this is the weird thing. I have a very sunny disposition in my mind. It's just how I think, and I've always thought, I think. I've always been very positive in my mind. I don't feel a lot of sadness. I have my main emotional registers, is that what we say, is happy, but and also anger. Those two, but not anger like, I'm fiery, I think. I have a short fuse and I'll blow it and then I'm like happy in 2 seconds again. Like if something, but also not often. I don't know how to explain it. But no, I have always kind of been like this. I have had, like, my life has been so lovely. It's full of so many lovely things, and it has kind of always been. And I've always been so thankful of that it's always been my focus. I think there's so much around me to always be grateful for, and it's kind of like been like that.
You're a quite happy person.
My mom always said I was a very happy kid. So it's ever since I was a child. From Google Maps, you can see that there's a large complex of antennas on the plateau above your house. Have you ever been up there? Do you know what it is? This is KSAT. It is one of the largest satellite parks in the world. They have customers like NASA. You can't just go up there. It is shut off. You need
clearance from someone up there.
Let's say if you want to work there, you need clearance from the government. They will do a whole thing. But so it's a satellite station. We know some people who work there. It's really cool. But I haven't been up there, no.
Yeah, I was there like a couple of months ago.
How do you balance long-term planning life ahead and having a structured schedule to meet your work demands versus going with the flow and spontaneity for self-care and opportunities for fun and enjoyment? Okay. And then Safi says, think so many of us prioritize work over self these days. This is by far the hardest part of being a self-employed person or having this kind of job, is doing a structure. And I have also, in the beginning, I was trying to be so structured. And then that didn't really work. But also in the beginning, when I started doing this, I was doing like 3 videos a week because, you know, I just started my channel. You kind of have to just go balls to the wall. Now, thankfully, I don't do that. But back then, I didn't have a life. Like, I really didn't. But also, I was working other jobs at the same time.
Yeah, it was a lot of work for you.
It was absolute madness. But also, I will to this day say that that is exactly what was needed to get where we are now. Sometimes you need to like work so much if you want to reach that goal. And I kind of knew how I hoped to get there. And here we are. Now though, yikes, yeah. So it's better. I can't do like work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, because that never really works out with how we want to film, what's happening in our life. I really just take you along on what's happening. And sometimes I plan a video, which is also great because that's usually what makes a little bit easier life for us. If I'm like, okay, we're gonna film this type of video that day. And I think that's something I'm gonna do going forward. I'm gonna look at the month and I'm like, what kind of videos do I wanna do? And usually it's surrounded around things that we're already doing. Like, oh, we're going to our cabin, or we have Christmas, or, you know, things that are happening. Because that is still always what this channel will be. This will always be lifestyle and life on Svalbard. And at least until we don't want to do that anymore. But that is really what I want it to be still. Just like, what is life up here? And then sometimes we sprinkle in Oslo videos and, you know, this and that. But okay, for my planning, yeah, it's kind of funny because it started with me, you know, my Sunday videos, it started with me doing like, okay, I have to do them 2 weeks before so they're ready. And I was like, that is such good time. And then I'm like, I'm just gonna do them 1 week ahead. I'll just make sure I have it the Sunday, the week before. And then I was like, I'll just do it Wednesday, the same day, the same week. And then now I edit my videos on Saturday, the day before they go live. And some days I edit them on the same day they go live. And I don't know why I do this to myself, because it's full on chaos. So I don't know.
It can be difficult to film sometimes if the weather, if you're supposed to have like, you're making a video about, I don't know, Northern Light, and then we don't have any Northern Light. Or like we're gonna go somewhere and it's super stormy outside, so we can't go. So it's difficult to know the weather up here and how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
So it can be hard to plan sometimes.
So like this month, we were like, okay, we're gonna make some Cap Laila videos. We can't go out there because we haven't been able to with the weather.
It's been quite bad weather, and I can go out there. It's no stress for me to go out there, but it's like if you're gonna film everything and do it quite safe, then it gets more difficult. So it's not only go there, it's like filming as well. And that's not the easiest part.
No. I love your pajamas. Where do you buy them? All of my pajamas, I would say 90%, are from Victoria's Secret. Their modal pajamas are the absolute best. Modal is the best fabric ever. And I highly recommend them. I wash these, 200 times and they still look the same. So highly recommend. Question for Christoffer about what do you think about the Thermomix from your point of view as a professional chef? Yay or nay?
Very good.
I
really like the Thermomix. It's so good for so many things. And like when you have the Wi-Fi, Google, what do you say? When you have internet on it.
Yes, yes, like Grandpa.
I don't know. You have so many recipes in that machine already, but you can also make your recipes. Like for example, you have this Christmas porridge. I tried that one and it was shit actually. It was really bad. So I started to elaborate a bit to how to make it good, like from original to the Thermomix. And I got it super perfect this year. So it was, and I always forget, I'm not good at recipes, like writing up recipes, like when you do something I never write. So making these cookbooks are quite difficult because like I'm not used to do anything by recipes. Of course baking is recipes, but a recipe, then you need to try to find a good way for everybody. So it's difficult. But the Thermomix is, I don't use it that much, but it is super good and it makes life way easier. I really like the Thermomix. I would like to have one in the cabin. If we had the electricity there, I would have one. So what I use it for mostly is rice. I boil rice in it because that's amazing.
Yeah, rice.
I use a lot of sous vide, and I do like when I bake and do vanilla cream, like crème pâtisserie or like vanilla custard or lemon curd or whatever
Asking
it is.
Christopher about the Thermomix is like pressing an on button.
Like, I use it a lot.
Sorry,
for
100%.
that.
You're funny. You mentioned Christopher was unwell this past week. Yes, he was. He had a migraine for days. It was crazy. Do you have doctors and a hospital in Svalbard? Yes, we do. We have a hospital that does all of the basics. There's a dentist there. There is all of that stuff. And if there's anything they can't take care of, they send you to the mainland. They pay for your lodging and your flight tickets, and you go to see a doctor there. And everything is paid for by our taxes. It's a lovely system that works very well, I must say.
Oh.
I'm very impressed by our hospital here. If you call them and you're like, oh my gosh, this or this is happening, you can either get a time the same day. They have reserved slots every day for emergency things. And then otherwise they'll be like, you can come tomorrow. You know, it's so fast. They're so nice. Very, very good. Okay, this is another one about the YouTube channel. Do you have goals or plan in advance for the YouTube channel? Maybe we answered that before, but for me, just doing this is kind of the goal, isn't it?
Yeah,
like
to get it to have it rolling.
Yeah, and for us to have fun, and for you to have fun, and like now. When I was like, oh my God, we're almost reaching 1 million. That's not even ever been a goal because I didn't think it was possible. And now I'm like, that would be insane. But it's never the goal because it's just a number at the end of the day. It's kind of like how many of you are watching and how much you're liking the videos, and that it's actually something that you feel gives you something. One of my favorites, Mariana, who watches us, Mariana, the other day she sent over a reel of a guy talking about Norwegian slow TV. You know the show Minute for Minute? In the summer, there's a show up here in Norway called Minute by Minute. And they broadcast a live feed of a boat trip, Hurtigruten. And they call it slow TV. And she said, like, this is basically what I think about your program. And I'm like, that is exactly what I said in the beginning that I wanted this to be. It's just kind of like join us on a day, get a feel for this life, see the Northern Lights like we do. Like I just want it to be peaceful, kind of. And sometimes we throw in fun adventures or new things, but at the end of the day, life here is just so quiet and beautiful. And that's kind of what we want to show. So the goal is to continue. And also for us to have fun and you have fun, and stuff like getting the new cabin is so much fun because it gives us a whole new thing to show and another aspect of Svalbard that is so peak Svalbard.
Oh, yeah, that's really nice too.
Okay, I tend to play more video games in the winter, obsessed with Stardew Valley. Do you still play video games? Yeah. Do you know how much I played in Christmas? I looked at Zelda after 3 days and I paid 40 hours. Wait, it must have been, no, 4 days. Yeah, because I averaged 12 hours a day. I love video games so much. I played Stardew Valley a lot, but this winter I have just been playing Zelda because Christoffer also bought me a new controller. I asked Santa Claus for it. But yeah, so I've been playing Zelda every single day and you don't even know. You're not a gamer. You have no idea. You don't even know what I'm doing in there.
Never played anything.
You know what I wanted to get? I wanted to get Overcooked. Is that what it's called? When you're cooking together. And I've been trying to convince Christoffer of how great this was going to be. But I have a feeling it's like divorce material, you know? Because he's never played video games. And he's going to be in charge of a station in the kitchen. And I just have a feeling like maybe we shouldn't do this, you know? But maybe you could like it.
I don't know.
Do you guys have bucket lists?
No, I don't have a bucket list like that, but I think I have like a small plan. Oh, but it's small things. It's not that next year I'm gonna do that or next year I'm gonna do that, but I think I have a plan. When you live on Svalbard, you're not supposed to live here forever. You're supposed to live here as long as you can. So you need to have a plan of what you're gonna do when you get older, for example, or like. So I always thinking about when I see other places, or so I think about, okay, is this a place where we can have a cabin or a small house? Like, I think you can stay here on Svalbard until you can't walk anymore. And that's probably the only plan I have, like to try to find a place where I can spend time when I'm not able to be up here anymore.
Yeah.
But it's a long plan. It's
just to say, I'm also a part of this plan, even though it didn't sound like it. I promise. He told me that I am. Christopher just like hoarding cabins in the north. I promise he told me, yes. But yeah, okay, so that way, I don't have a bucket list at all. I really don't. Book was the only thing that I felt since I was young that I've always wanted to do. I don't know why, but I've always been like, I could be a writer. When it comes to what Christoffer said, I agree. We often sit and think about like, we don't want to move from Svalbard. We don't have any plans of doing that. We don't have any plans of selling this for 40 years. You know what I mean? We often sit and think, oh, could we have a cabin there? And then we think about that life and we're like, would we like it? And quite often we're like, nah, crossing it out. And we've always said, oh, we could probably be in Portugal for a few months. And then we're like, but that's not now. We're too young for that. Do you know what I mean? Oh. So it's more, that's the way I kind of think about the future. And to be honest, you never know anything about what's going to happen. So I don't think too much about that. I'm just happy that I kind of focus on what we can do now to live a good life. Oh. And then also think about the future. Like we do save a lot, you know, stuff like that.
I think
it's ingrained in me.
Still have so much to do here.
Yeah.
People have lived here for 60 years and still have a lot to do here.
Yeah.
So
your walks with Grim seem pretty long and you use your walking pad. How many steps do you like to aim for per day? Seems like you get a lot. Oh, I don't. Whenever I do my walk with Grim, it's like almost exactly 5,000 steps because he is so slow. It is a long time I'm out there. I'm out for an hour, but I've walked 3 kilometers by an hour. I don't know, like there's no speed because that's Grim's walk. But I aim for 10,000 a day. I actually set myself a goal. I looked at my step count. I think it was in September when we were at the cabin, or maybe it was the month after, and I was like, ouch. I was literally averaging like 3,000 a day. So I like commute in here, which is if I don't do anything, it's like 600 steps a day. So what I do is I aim for 10,000 because I feel so much better with a little bit of a goal, and also I need that movement in my day. So a walk with Grim is about 5,000, and then I will walk on my walking pad, which has been the most life-changing thing I've ever purchased for my health. Before I sat down and I edited it. Do you remember how much I hated that?
No.
And then I bought the walking pad from a person in town. Anyway, I love a step goal. So I'm going to do that again now. In January, I'm going to do the 10,000 steps a day. Have you and Christoffer made a decision on whether or not you will have children? So I don't mind people asking this. I feel like people are like, oh, why would you? Like, it's okay to ask, because if we want to answer, we will. And the reason why I like answering this question is because I think I would like to be able to look back at what my thoughts were now, and then what my thoughts were before. And I just find it interesting. I don't find it such a, I don't know, not that private. I'll tell you if I want to, you know? Right now, still more towards no. And I kind of also appreciate the comments where people say, if it's not an immediate yes, it should be a no. Because that's kind of how I feel. Right now, it's not an immediate yes, so it's a no. Because we cannot change our lives that much for something so important if we don't know that we actually want to do it. And at the moment, I don't want to do it.
It's a lot of... It's definitely going to change our lives up here 100%. You need to think more safety, more everything, and oh, I don't know. For me, I have it good as it is, so...
Yeah, people keep thinking that you want kids because I always talk on this subject, but I think it's also because you always think it's up to me to decide, and that's
for
why.
For me, I really never wanted to have kids. Like, I think it's a big thing to have, and it takes so much of your life. It's probably super fun and everything, but for me it's always been a no. But I said, like, if she want a kid, I do it.
Yeah, before we even became a proper couple, that's the first thing I asked you. I said, before we even do this, if I want to have kids, can we have kids? And he was like, sure. And if I don't want to have kids, is that okay? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, then I'm good. Because then if I'm okay to decide, I wouldn't just like one day say, let's have kids and not talk about it. But I know that I'm like 35 now, and people are like, you're so old, you're ancient. And I'm like, yeah. My bestie Olivia, she just had a kid. You don't even know this. She got another baby. God, like it came in the post. They have 2 kids now. She's 40. She's had 2 kids now. Like, it's so possible. It's so much more normal than it's been before. The ages of having kids is, it's different. But I will allow myself to say no up until the last second when I feel like now I need to make a proper decision. And then that's kind of how I feel. If it's a no now, because it's not an immediate yes.
If we get a kid now, in 7 years we have to plan, like, are that kid gonna stay in school here? It means we have to live here.
Because we have skolplikt, which is you have to go to school.
You have to go to school. It's no homeschooling or whatever it is. And then you need so much more focus on what you're gonna do.
But also,
life.
Where's the child gonna sleep? We need to buy a new home.
Oh.
And also, when I envision my future, I don't see children. I see myself on a beach in Florida with Christoffer in a wheelchair. I'm just kidding. The wheelchair was because he's old, but he's gonna be walking. He's gonna be so strong. That wasn't nice. So for now, it's still a no because it's not an immediate yes. That's like the best way we can put it. And Christoffer, tell them, am I forcing you to say this? Do you want to have a baby?
I'd rather say no.
Yeah, perfect. I wanted to ask what camera you use for all your beautiful photography, astrophotography, and filming. One camera, one lens has become the star of this show. Before, I always thought, oh, you need so many lenses, and I bought a couple of ones. I could have just saved that money. I use the Sony a7S III, which is a beast in night photography, which is why I bought it, because vlogging in the dark and filming in the dark is so camera dependent. And I have a 14mm Sony lens, 1.8, also very important. And that's all I need. I use it for everything. My mic is a Sony ECM1B something. Yep, so that is my gear for everything. For capturing the northern lights, for doing the astrophotography, and absolutely everything. Vlogging in the daytime, I love it. So it's a learning curve. It took me a few years. And all I did was look on YouTube and ask people. I learned a new thing this year. You know, all of these northern lights, time lapses before I would take every single photo and I would stitch them together in the computer myself. And then I would make this time lapse. And this is so time consuming. It's insane. And then I looked at Eventyr, a Norwegian Instagram. And I said, how did you do that? Because he had like the smoothest time lapse. And he's like, yeah, on your camera, there is a feature called S&Q, which literally stitches together a time lapse for you. I knew that it was there. I just didn't know I could use it for astrophotography. Hence why we now have so many beautiful time lapses, because they take me no time. They come out of the camera finished. So that is why there has been so many more lately. What are your plans for 2025?
Plans for 2025. We're gonna start off the year with a holiday, because we're going to Portugal.
In a few weeks. No, it's gonna be like next week for this or the week after?
No.
In 2 weeks, 1.5 or something like that. Yeah.
No. And then it's gonna be a lot of Kaplaila, I think. It's gonna be a lot of cabin.
Yeah.
And I look forward to the boat season as well this year.
Yes.
Of course, as I always do. Because like with the cabin and boat, I think it will be smooth as a charm.
My mom wants to come and visit in February. Your mother wants to come visit in June, I think. So family probably will be visiting. We might be going to Olivia and Einar for another christening. Or we will. We just don't know when yet. So that's going to be a visit to Sweden. We have another god baby, hopefully, I think. Yes. Yes. I needed it in paper before I say it. But so we have another baby of the family. And then we also have, what's going to be so much fun is we have the Kaplaila. We have to bring everything out, the furniture. And that is when we come back from Portugal. We're going to do the order for the furniture in Portugal. We've thought this out because we're going to go to IKEA in Portugal and actually look at things. We haven't done this before. We've just looked at the website and we're like, we hope for the best. We're going to be there measuring stuff, putting in the cart in our little computer to really make sure we get everything that we need. Because we can do this once pretty much. Well, we can do it again, but it's so expensive. No. But we want to get it right. So, and then we're going to have to bring all of that out. That's going to be fun though.
Oh, that's going to be...
It's going to be mayhem. We have to load up our snowmobiles. We have to get our friends. We have to get all of, it's going to be fun. And that's going to be, when it comes to filming, I'm looking forward to filming that because I think it's really going to show you Svalbard in the winter.
No.
Like we're going to go down steep valleys with all of this IKEA, like out to the middle of nowhere. I think it's going to be an adventure. I kind of like things like that. What is your top to be read pile for 2025? First I'm going to finish Mistborn, book 3. I'm halfway through now. After that, I'm going to read Elantris and I'm going to read Warbreaker, I think. Brandon Sanderson. After that, I'm going to move on to Way of Kings or something, which is Stormlight Archive. No, before I read Stormlight Archive, I think it's called, I'm going to read Quicksilver by Kelly Hart, which is a standalone, just to get something different out of the Brandon Sanderson universe, to just jump around a little bit. And then I'm going to go back into Brandon Sanderson, I think. That's what my to be read pile.
I bought The Accident of Kings Bay.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to read that one.
How is Christoffer feeling about making YouTube his full-time job? Is he enjoying it?
I don't think YouTube is my job. Like the first thing, it's Cecilia who makes the YouTube, but I just visit sometimes. I do everything else, so it's like I take care of everything else here. So it's not so much YouTube for me. That's more Cecilia.
Yeah, but I think also I have tried to let Christoffer choose how much he wants to be in the videos. With some forced videos. No, but what I mean is, I haven't forced you to be like, hi, hello from day one.
No.
In the beginning, it was just me. And then you guys started asking more about Christoffer, of course, because it's, interesting. So I bring him in for things like this, what he feels comfortable with. But I think you still would like to be behind the scenes as much as possible.
No, it's way easier.
Yeah. But you also see when he's super comfortable. Cap Laila, no problems, because it comes to him naturally what he wants to talk about and show you and everything. Same in the kitchen. But imagine putting somebody in front of a camera and say, speak, do something, and you don't know what you're supposed to say or do. It's so uncomfortable. So I'm just happy that you enjoy being a part of these kind of videos. He'll show up whenever he wants to show up. And then he does so much behind the scenes, which is exactly, what's needed. Okay, how are you able to read as many books as you do with YouTube and an active lifestyle? I didn't read that many books last year, actually. I didn't read any, but I've been reading, okay. I realized, because I was like, I didn't meet my read goal. Every single book I've read is like 700 pages. What I do is, I thought about this the other day. I'm like, when do I read actually? Because it felt like I hadn't read in so many days. Wait. I'm on Goodreads and you're welcome to find me. I will add you. I love it. Yeah, so in 2024, I only read 15 books and I had a goal of 24, which for me wasn't that many, but I mean, it's still a lot. What I do is, okay, I literally block out a whole day. I say, today I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to go on a walk and then I'm going to read. And then I read for 6 hours. And then I finish half a book. And then the next day, the same thing. I like to bulk read because I get so lost in the story. And I like to kind of like completely lose myself in the story as well. Let me show you my gift that I also asked for Christmas. A book lamp. Look at this. There's nothing more annoying than reading with a headlight on, and now I have this. So yeah, I bulk read. I read this yesterday, half the book. The craziest one is when we were at Diabas. Do you remember that?
No.
That was the craziest thing. I read for 15 hours straight, and you slept?
I was tired.
I read a whole, I read an entire Sarah J. Maas book of like 800 pages in one go. And I didn't do anything else. And I love that. That's why reading it's like, I go into a whole different world. If you could both choose one word to describe your 2024, what would it be? Excitement? Okay, one word for 2025. Cap Laila! Moving on. What was your favorite gift this year?
I think it was, I got a thermometer. That was really nice. Nice when you barbecue or put some meat or something in the oven. That was a good one. And of course, Anka's room, the Electrolux assistant, the new
machine.
one. The old one I have, it's perfect, but the new one, it's a bit more quiet, and it has, you can choose the speed on it. And that makes it a bit easier when baking.
My favorite was the book lamp and my controller for Nintendo Switch. I've been looking at it every day while playing and I'm like, it's the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen. Okay, that was a lot of questions. I think we went through almost all of them.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed. We thought this would be a good start to the new year. Our plans, where are we at, give you some more information about things that you're wondering. Next week, I don't know what we're gonna do. Speaking of planning, I don't know what we're gonna do. Also, in January, we're going on vacation and there's gonna be 1 week where we don't have a video. So don't fret. And not next Sunday, but the Sunday after that, we are going in vacation mode. It's always nice in January to kind of like, because December is such a busy season. It's a lot of chill, but it's also seriously before. This polar night has been, I didn't even think it was possible, even better and more enjoyable than my usual polar nights. Like, I loved it even more. And I don't know what it is, but I'm so happy that that is the way this polar night has turned out, because you never know. It can get stressful or whatever, but no. Time of my life. How's your been?
Very nice, as always.
Yeah. But I've really... Also, Oslo was lovely. We can never do that again. Not the fact that we can go, but Christmas is for Svalbard. December is for Svalbard. That's just how I felt. I was like, I'm the FOMO of not being in the most beautiful Christmas place. I also said to Christoffer that I realized why I think I love polar nights so much. Also, it's because it's the one time of year this place is it's the exact thing that Christmas should be. You know what I mean? It is like the magic and the darkness and the northern lights. It feels like you live in the magic of the Christmas spirit. It's crazy. And this year has been nothing short of absolutely magical. A wonderful polar night so far. I am looking forward to some sunlight though, because I looked at myself in the mirror earlier and I said, oh wow. In January, you start becoming translucent, so black under your eyes. So thank you so much for a wonderful year, 2024. I am so ready for 2025 and excitement. Let's say it all in unison. 1, 2, 3. Kaplayla! 2, 3. I'll say it for let's go over here. No, I mean, this year is not only about the cabin, but I just know that you look forward to it so much. Yeah. And I do as well. It's going to be fun. But also, let's see what this year has in store. We hope you have had a lovely Christmas and a happy new year.
And a happy new year and a good year.
And a good year. Grim! He would like to say hello. His fur is, I think, going to be, it's definitely turning dark, but I think we're going to get a little bit of an ice cream this year. Crazy. And now it's cold. It's -18 outside. No, -15. More beautiful than ever. Look at you. Okay, we will see you next week here on Svalbard. He has gone into polar night mode in a way that is just... He sleeps so much. And before he would be like, oh, let's get out of bed at like 8 in the morning in the summer. I slept till 1 the other day. Let's not even talk about that. But so did Grim. And so did Christoffer. Yes!
Normally he goes
my kind of family.
Normally he goes up like 10 o'clock. I give him breakfast and then I go out for about 2 minutes and do his stuff, and then he comes in and then he goes sleep again.
Yeah, that is what we're doing nowadays. And while all of this is happening, I'm just sleeping. High five. Oh, that was high five. Yeah! I love that he looks like a proud dad. I'm gonna do the Christoffer's way of getting in and out of a car. Oh! Oh! And then he goes like this. Oh! Do you want me to help you? And he goes, oh!
Glöm det.